Hey guys, it's Jessie. Welcome to Lost Marbles Farm. Today we are going on a nature hike with the whole fam, and we're going to look for arrowheads and just spend some time in the great outdoors. We haven't had a lot of great weather lately, but the sun is out shining. It feels nice and warm. It's about mid-50s, so we just couldn't help it. We had to get outside. So before we go on our hike, I wanted to show you guys a couple of our walking sticks that we've made. One of my favorite things to do is when we're exploring the woods is to look for small trees that have been wrapped around with vines, and over time it will make these great swirly little designs in the wood as it grows. So it's always exciting. I think actually I do have a picture somewhere floating around where you could see what it looked like before we started working on it. So this is Sam's. So you can see it goes all the way down. We peeled it, sanded it. I believe he stained it, but what I really like about his is the top. He took a wood burning tool and kind of made like this grid-like pattern over just the top of it. So it really turned out very nicely. It's very heavy, his compared to mine anyway, because of that top part there. But I love how his turned out. And mine is much lighter. I did some woodworking on this, and I made this back in 2015 and had some swirly marks down there. I was gonna do more, but I think I got to where I needed a stopping place and then stopped. And then I've got one of my favorite Bible verses that I drew with a wood burning tool. And then the top is pretty plain, although there was a couple of spots that I made it look like little animal footprint tracks on there because it just kind of looked unique. So anyway, that's my walking stick, a lot lighter, but these are just really fun to make. If you're ever in the woods and you see some branches that are wrapped with vine, cut them down. If they look like they'd be about the perfect height of a walking stick, it really is something anybody could work on and anybody could do. It's just a really fun project. Okay, so on our hike, I saw a perfect example of what you want to look for if you do want to try to find a potential walking stick that has the curves on it. These smaller vines are the type of vines that wrap around the trees that over time it cuts into it. So for example, over here, you know, obviously this wouldn't make a good walking stick because it's a vine on top of a vine, but you see how it's eating into it and the vine itself is growing around it. Now if you were to pull that smaller vine out, you'd have the grooves, and you know that it's twisted all the way up. Beautiful, but it's a vine and it's not sturdy enough. So you want to try to find a young tree. Now if we left this alone in a few years, that would maybe be perfect. So anytime you find a cluster of these vines, which are very annoying, I don't even like these vines because they take over, but that's your best chance of finding a stick that looks like our walking sticks. Oh, is that your treasure?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
You just kind of sat there and you took them all up. You didn't do anything.
A lot of times you'll find things like this that are just pieces where they've been working on one. So most oftentimes this is the kind of stuff you'll find more than whole arrowheads. Sam just got one.
It didn't look like it was finished.
Oh, really? What color is it? Let me see, Mary.
Daddy found this
Oh.
arrowhead.
Oh, yeah. Or it broke. I think, actually, Sam, I think it was a whole one and it broke. Man, that was going to be a big one, too. Very nice.
What I found?
Wow, Nolan, what is that? Show me what you got.
Oh,
What is it? Some kind of sparkly...
I don't know. It's
Well,
a crystal.
it's like a broken crystal rock. But man, isn't that gorgeous?
Look at back.
Very nice.
Hey, look, I may have found one too.
Oh, Mary, let's see what you got. Man, y'all are racking up on all the treasures, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Very nice. You know, it's too bad these little geodes aren't worth something, because if they were, we would be millionaires. A penny a piece and we'd be millionaires.
What?
Why do we have to bring that back? So this part of the creek, we have a big huge bank of clay. And every time we come through here, the kids just cannot help themselves.
I'm going to take it back home and mold it into something.
So Eva has a new project. So yeah, yay! Look at that lovely messy clay. So what happened, Mary and Nolan, did they cover themselves in it?
Yep, all over their arms.
Great. Great. This is literally my favorite place back here. This sweet little waterfall. That pool pretty much stays there. It might dry up during a really bad drought, but generally there's always a little pool right here. And those rocks are perfectly covered in moss, and it's just so beautiful. And anyway, so it has a little rise right here. And of course, a girl can dream, right? I mean, come on. It probably will never happen, but I think it would be awesome to build like a little footbridge over there and have like a tiny little off-grid cabin, you know, just to come back here and go camping in. But it would be out of the flood zone and surrounded by this beautiful creek, and I just think it would be really cool, don't you think, Nolan? Oh my goodness, you've got that stuff everywhere.
It's clay. I found it in the clay.
I know, we found it too, but you didn't have to
I
paint,
found it.
you didn't have to paint your body in it.
I'm a clay face.
Your clay face? Well, I believe it. That's the longest one I've ever found.
And it was over here, not even
And just
in the
right here, yeah. See that, Mary?
Yeah.
Ooh, pretty.
I hadn't even been looking on the banks.
We're getting almost, not to the end, but to the end of the main creek before it starts turning into what we call slick rock. I'll show you what that is. All right, so here's the start of the slick rock, because it is slick rock. Would not advise climbing up it, but it winds around. See if I can get this far. It winds around and actually gets really, really steep with more and more slick rock up ahead. So let me see if I can walk over there without killing myself to show you what that looks like. Hey, look, Mary, look. Look, Mary, a turtle shell. Right there in the water. Mary thinks I'm leaving her. Anyway, so you see how it's kind of all slick like that? It continues to meander around, and you can't really see it, but way, there's my finger, there it is. Way back in there is where it really starts to get steep. So yeah, not a good idea to climb it unless you're ready to play on a slip and slide in the summer, and then it's fun. Up from the creek, like on the bank, where all this, these leaves break down, man, that soil is just so black. What I would give to have this in my garden. Maybe one day when we get a tractor, Sam can come back here and scoop some of this up and take it to our garden beds, because that stuff is rich, 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 rich soil. See those big trees? Those are the trees that Sam cut down a couple of weeks ago that we're going to be chopping our firewood from here over the next month. So firewood for us, and then clearing this out as an additional pasture eventually, and or food plot. So killing two birds with one stone. All right, here's some of our treasures from our nature hike today, and we've got some pieces of glass that came from what used to be an old homestead back here. I think we're going to save those and do some kind of cool art project with it at some point, because we've got so many different colorful pieces that we've collected over the years. That'd be a fun project for the kids. And looks like an old piece of pottery. I'm not sure what this is, but the kids liked it. You should see the size of their rock collection. It is off the chain. And this was Sam's piece that would have been totally amazing if it had been whole, but it's, man, that would have been gorgeous. And then I found, of course, this piece, almost perfect except for the tip. That's okay. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous day. And if you guys like to hunt arrowheads or old artifacts from homesteads like bottles and such, tell me about it and share pictures of it in the comments if you don't mind. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you guys on the next video.